At How 11K asks, what current games do you think will become retro classics in the next 20 years? This is a good topic for you, Ian. Will you be working at Luna video games 20 years from now?
Probably not. So I've been thinking about it and looking at like just seeing what's been really popular online and, you know, what keeps being played, talked about what is what's popular. I think some games that are going to be considered retro classics in the future, I think Dark Souls is going to be. It's hard. It doesn't hold your hand. Whether you like that or hate that doesn't really matter. I think that's going to... I think it has all the stuff that is going to make it looked... I think there's going to be a lot of people who look back on that fondly in the future.
Is that how you're defining retro? People looking back on it fondly?
Well...
Or are they going to go back and actually play it?
I think they're going to go back and actually play it. Yeah, I think there could be more, but I think Dark Souls 1, even if you eliminate the online, I think it's going to have that appeal, not just as sort of the first in this genre of 3D open space area, extra hard action games. It's, you know, sort of a new type. It's sort of the genesis of that. And I think people are going to go back to that and look at that, and they're going to play that. I think as far as RPGs go, I think Persona series, especially Persona 5 and probably Final Fantasy 15, which has been, without a doubt, I think the biggest home run that series has had in a long time. I think in the future, that's going to be a retro classic. I would say probably something like Halo 3. That's going to be a big one. I'm trying to think of what else. God of War will probably be something that's looked at. I mean, a lot of these big name action games that you can pick up and play quickly.
I go back to my point about retro games ending at a certain point in time. We discussed that, the pros and cons of that argument of me thinking it died with the Dreamcast in terms of consideration. But is it retro gaming if you're playing the same game that keeps getting re-released or keeps getting adapted to a newer console? Would that be considered retro gaming? If a game's either a remake or like the Halo 2 HD version, that you know, things of that nature, is it still, or the Halo they did HD, whatever, both, is it still retro gaming at that point?
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
You think so? Even if you know.
Well, I mean, you can just play the original version.
But I'm saying no one's going to be playing, you know, I can't picture people getting a working 360 30 years from now and playing these games on them. Like they'll be playing them on a newer sort of version digitally at that point.
People still come in and buy regular Xboxes and copies of Halo 2.
Okay.
So I was
going to say it's going to work for some of these games. It's not going to work for all of them. You know.
I mean, maybe not, but if there's physical copies and physical systems out there, people are going to do it.
Okay.
So, I mean, I think
you consider it retro gaming
if it's old, it's retro.
Okay.
So in 20 years, everything that we're playing now is going to be retro to the kids who are growing up with it.
Okay.
So I mean, Breath of the Wild, I think would obviously, I mean, any Zelda is, I mean, because whatever they're playing then, Breath of the Wild is going to look primitive and it's going to be old.
You think it'll look primitive 20 years from now?
Yes.
You don't think we're at diminishing returns for graphics yet?
Depends. I mean, back then we said that we were all the generation that said we're never going to fill up a 1 gigabyte hard drive.
No, but we can always imagine something looking better looking. We never played an Atari game saying it's not going to look better than this. No one said that, Ian. I mean, they announced these $2,000 graphic cards that come out, $1,000 graphics card, and it's like, well, yeah, it looks cool, but now it's like, wow, you can see the reflection of the guy in the fucking puddle on the ground. That's the difference.
No one is available to take your call. Please.
That was creepy as hell.
That was.
All right, we have a ghost caller.
Anyways, no, I think it's.
You see what I'm saying, though?
I don't.
That's creepy. Sorry. Go on, Ian.
I don't. And I'll go back to the question and say that this is perhaps What drives me the most nuts about you? You are short-sighted, I think, when it comes to this, and you are too
it's a callback.
and you are too dismissive of modern gaming. We may be old, but the people who are playing it are not, and I think that we are falling victim to the exact same stuff that some of our yes,
Short-sighted.
You are short. Yes.
Wait.
I think that things can progress and continue to improve in ways that we don't know yet, just like things that we were not expecting to come to fruition.
All right, Ian, what's past photorealism when it comes to games? What is past that graphically?
Don't know. Holographic.
Okay, so when they're playing holographic games in 20 years, when the photorealism games that we have right now, when they'll be looked at as primitive.
We're not at photorealism.
We are fucking close. We are so close. You don't think we're close?
I don't know.
You see the Cyberpunk game? You see those graphics? You're gonna be like, 20 years from now, you're gonna say that looks primitive? Really?
Right. So we're hammering away on the fact that I said it's gonna look outdated. Truth be told, whatever we're doing in that game is going to seem primitive to what they're playing in 20 years. What I'm saying is retro does not have to just mean games that came out in the 80s or 90s. Retro is going to be whatever is old to the people who are in 20 years. So all they're asking is, what games do you think will be retro classics in the next 20 years? 20 years from now,
well, maybe I disagree with the question then.
You can't disagree.
I can disagree with the question.
What games?
It was directed to you. Your answer might be fun. I might disagree with it.
Well, I mean, it was directed to both of us.
No, not necessarily.
No, I mean, we just decided that you were asking the question. I mean, this one was actually just replying to you in terms of how the question.
Yeah, because I asked for the podcast.
I think Final Fantasy 15 is going to be well remembered.
We're in Snippy now. We're getting Snippy on the 5th anniversary. That's why people like us.
I also think that stuff like Persona is going to be fondly remembered.
I think we're going to get to the point where we're going to have divisions of retro. Then we're going to have like the platinum era from the 70s, golden era,
well, sure,
silver. But once you get to, I said, that arcade knockoff point, especially when you get to the PS2 era, when the games start progressing, it's like, well, PS2 and PS3, yeah, there's a difference. PS3 to PS4, there's almost a difference in how these games look. PS4 to PS5, yeah, I guess it's an upgrade. I mean, we're there. We're fucking there when it comes to this stuff.
Well, we're not talking in aesthetic. We're talking in age.
Okay, okay, fine. I'll just say, okay. Aesthetic versus age, okay. Classic games versus retro games, all right.